We're just gonna stop the stream.
Yep.
In the afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon, the Canterbury Club must do some sort of thing that they upload a shit and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just drops it. So it's 7:20. It'll keep going.
And welcome back. Sorry about that, folks. We just crashed for a moment there. You haven't really missed a hell of a lot.
Yeah,
Still 1-0.
Frame is still finely poised here. Good chance here for Shaden.
Oh dear. It's a problem when you play a shot that way and you have to kind of hold for the black. Sometimes it will spit on you in those middle pockets, won't it?
Yeah, you might just overhit that one slightly. Great chance for Pinelli to level the scores here if he can nick this one in fine enough and hold the white for the black. Probably back to the same corner.
Maybe put a bit of left-hand side on it, perhaps.
Just a little bit. You wouldn't want to take off too much. Yeah, that looks very good.
Have a look. Oh yeah. That control again, isn't it? Down goes the 8, so we are knotted up at 1.
It's back on.
So now we've got a virtual race to 2, Michael.
Yes, it's an even more cutthroat here now. Sort of one mistake can be costly, and equally one good shot can turn around the match for you. So it's going to be interesting to see how these young players handle the pressure. Hopefully they rise up to it.
Saw there JT using Kerry Wirtz's old trick for cleaning the white ball, just to rub it into the rail to get the rail to collect the dust off it.
I didn't do much of a similar thing myself, actually. It's always good to get those spots off the white, but it's funny the little mannerisms that we can pick up from some of the top players, isn't it?
I remember seeing, who was it? I can't remember who it was. I was playing against him in Interclub and he used the rag on the table for setting the balls up to clean his cue with.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I might have to give that a go.
I looked at it and I was like, okay.
I'm not sure that's what that cloth's there for.
No, it's not. It doesn't get used often enough to rack the balls. Got into that, didn't he?
So it's good timing. Wee bit of work to do on the big ones here. I've got the ball tied up on the 3 and towards the right centre pocket as well, but I guess it's tying up the 3 at least as well for now. I can come back for that one later.
Bumps it. I think he's bumped it enough for the 10, has he?
He should have enough to play the 10. Probably not quite enough for the 11, but...
Well, either ball is on, then as you'd say, Cashmere Silver, if it's on, it's in, right?
My teammate Daniel Cole likes to use that phrase.
Chris Putter, I remember first coming up with that.
Yeah.
Along with his teammates going, get some DC in you.
Ah, yes.
Looking to see if the white passes the 9 here to pot the 11.
Yeah, it looks like he's lining up the 11 to the middle. No worries.
The other table looks like it will have a match played on it as well. But we will display that game in the upper right corner when it does start, which would be Mania Olmoa versus Marissa Reid McFarlane.
Yeah, so you're right, John. We've just got the section play for the singles is just starting at the same time as this finals playing, just to kind of keep things moving. So plenty of pool still to come.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we're a little low on time as well and having to cut the races down, but you can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of the way!
It might have gone if that white hadn't gone in the way.
Swindled. I think he'll be having a rueful look at that, because he'll believe fully that was going if the white hadn't gotten itself in the way. Got young Winey behind me. Winey Pinelli. How's your tournament been so far, Winey?
Alright.
How'd you do in the pairs?
I lost in the quarterfinals to Julia and Tyler.
Oh yeah, you happy with the way you played?
Yeah.
And playing, I believe playing interclub at the moment. How's your interclub season going?
Good. Winning, losing, doesn't matter. She have fun.
Exactly, I think that's the main thing, having fun, isn't it?
Brilliant attitude. It's the attitude that you need to be successful at this game, and you know you're going to win, you know you're going to lose, but you enjoy what you do. I've fallen foul of that a few times myself, just worrying too much about the result and not actually enjoying the game. Especially when I was younger. I mean, you probably know this yourself, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely. I used to battle with that a lot, sort of get a bit too caught up on the results, and sometimes you can sort of lose some of the fun and the enjoyment a wee bit. And actually, even more recently, it's something I've worked on a lot myself, is just making sure I'm still enjoying my pool even though we're competing. And I think I definitely play my best pool if I'm having fun. So it's always important. Doesn't matter what level you're at. Ooh, it was close.
Yeah, just off the rail. They're more difficult, I reckon, when they're just off the rail than when they're on the rail, because it's so easy to just get behind the ball when it's off the rail.
It is, and the other guys, they'll be glad there's just a wee bit of a gap for that 7 still to pass in front of the 9. Still a lot of work to do on the small ones to get that shot, but there's a chance for them here.
5's got to be a starter, surely.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one to get
Bang
going.
the 5 in, and then everything else unlocks itself, doesn't it?
Indeed. Just got to cue this one well. Be away and laughing.
Oh, this could be nasty.
Oh. Free ball
Or maybe
makes
not
this a
so
little bit
much
trickier.
with the 5 there.
Should be a good angle just to run naturally off that 5 and head up towards the 9. Get good position for the finish.
You'd probably end up mid-table, wouldn't you? If you ended up mid-table, you'd be happy with that. You wouldn't want to try to chew too much off.
That is the risk. Called it
pretty
perfectly,
much,
John.
right? Yeah. Don't try to do too much, because so often it bites you in the bum, doesn't it?
Definitely can.
Uh-oh, get out of there.
Lost that white ball a little bit. That's always the risk,
Okay.
sort of screwing those straight ones over a long distance out of the corner.
Top right of your screen is that game we were mentioning that's just started now. Marissa Reed McFarlane just at the table. Oh, the double. The double's a beauty.
Great shot, great shot.
And JT there getting some knucks from his partner after that. But yeah, that other game we were just talking about before that double, Mania Olmoa currently at the table versus Marissa Reid-McFarlane. Marissa and her sister Michaela playing in this tournament. The two daughters of Corey Reid-McFarlane and Jamie Reid-McFarlane, who both play pool themselves. And Jamie used to be a junior pool player at the same time as us.
Yeah, no, it was really cool to see them playing today. Good friends with Corey myself, and seeing the girls having games around at his place here and there. So nice to see them giving their first tournament a crack, and looks like they're having fun. Back to the final. That's a good break to start the frame here. A couple of balls down, lots of options.
Yeah, that's pretty good for a break. Look at the spread, and how many did you say went down?
I said a couple, but it might have been more. It could have been 3, was it?
Yeah, I can only count 12 colours on the table.
Yeah, you're right. 1 big and 2 smalls down.
Yum. Gee, either set right.
Yeah,
Probably the overs just, but if there's a good under on, then you wouldn't say no, would you?
I think it can go either way. If you can sort of use that, perhaps use the 3 to get towards the 1 second, get that 1 out of the way, then the smalls are looking pretty good from there.
Oh dear.
It's the danger of talking too far ahead. He might have been doing the same thing in his head that we were doing over here and forgot to make sure of the first ball.
Yeah, it's like when you see the try line open and you get a pass, the first thing you've got to do is catch the ball.
Bang on.
So often you end up having a wee look at that try line and forget to do part 1.
It's great to see the All Blacks turn that round this weekend on a completely separate note. Awesome bounce back from the week before.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game live, but I was looking at it on stuff, and just to see that score getting racked up, and even more than that, the fact that we held them scoreless after what happened last week is a massive achievement.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
I wonder if the Aussies will be talking themselves up as much now as well.
I think they might have gone pretty quietly after that. They were making a lot of noise last week.
Right, so they played really well last week, and obviously they ran into a massive black wall last night, but you still wouldn't want to count them out for the World Cup, would you?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. A lot of strong-looking teams going into that. I'm looking forward to watching it myself.
Back to another sport involving, well, more balls than just one.
Well, that's a nice shot there.
Was that a long drag shot?
It almost looked like a wee bit of a drag. It's a good shot to play. It takes a lot of skill and good cueing to play the drag shot effectively, and she's executed it really nicely there. Pretty sure I was still terrified of playing drag shots when I was playing in the juniors. Took a few years of practicing to get that one right.
I still get that one wrong.
Yeah,
I used to be
too.
good at that shot. You watch players like Peter Agnew, he's brilliant at that. Peter Agnew and Ollie van der Kroot, when he was playing, were both probably the 2 best players I've seen recently of that shot. And Adam Lilly as well just comes into mind as an excellent drag player. It's a good shot to learn too, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I think, if you're sort of wanting to play a slower shot the length of the table, often we don't sort of follow through very well on them when we're hitting them soft, and that can affect the accuracy. Whereas if you can play that drag shot, you just kind of get a better cue through the ball and feel like you're striking it that little bit more positive and a little bit more accurate. So, yeah, while it's tricky to master, it's definitely a good shot to have in your arsenal.
I suppose the biggest risk with those shots is that you don't hit it centre ball.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that one.
Centre ball line.
And you end up playing an accidental swerve.
Yeah, the ball ends up running off course.
missed the pot there, but I think he's played that shot with safety in mind, and in case he did miss, making sure that he hasn't left a easy finish on the bigs. Smart at this stage of the frame.
This is where your chops as far as long shots get tested. Long shots with the fact that all 4 of their balls are still well on, you'd definitely be thinking, well, need to make sure I get this, but you just need to make sure you pot it, don't you? Just ignore all the other balls on the table, just pot this one.
It's really well played, nice cueing off the rail.
I believe that was her partner Julia just bumping the camera table as well. Acknowledgement of that shot from partner Pinelli. He's just off angle here. He's got to be careful of the 4 when he plays this. Play that to run it. He's got to make sure that he's not going to go behind the 4 and snooker himself.
I think it comes back to what you said earlier, John, is sometimes not trying to do too much. Sometimes it might be best to just roll it in, keep it simple, and make sure you give yourself a shot rather than trying to get that perfect shot on the black.
Is he going to screw it back for the other corner pocket? No. Oh, well played.
He's played it excellently. Used the 4 as a stopper, held nicely for the black. It's always a wee bit tough from the commentary, John. I definitely know from where I was sitting, I wasn't quite sure the angle was there to run onto the 4 like that, but that was a great option.
Yeah, you're kind of projecting, aren't you, where you think it's going to go, and where it does go is often different, and you end up looking stupid. This to knot us up at 2 and send it into a decider.
Yeah, it's a good finish. Snuck in, and those shots are much tougher when you're in the final, and you know it's to keep yourself in the match. Well played.
So we're going hill here, folks. We're getting all 5 frames of action in this final.
It's always tough when you've been playing a tournament all day or all morning in these guys' case, and then suddenly your whole tournament comes down to 1 frame. See if they can hold their nerves.
I think it's also just to forget what's happened before and just completely blank your mind and refocus on this 1 frame and break it down into every shot that you play. Just focus on 1 shot.
It's always good advice, whatever match you're playing, to just try and take it a shot at a time. It's obviously a lot easier said than done, and definitely for some of these guys, if it's their first final, that might be tough, but it's really good experience for all the guys, whatever the outcome, just to sort of be in that situation, in that environment with that final pressure and the camera on and everybody watching and all that. So, yeah, like we said before, hopefully they're enjoying it as well as feeling the pressure.
Well, that could have gone any ways of ugly for Shaden there, but it's a dry break, and look at where all the balls have ended up. You've still got half the balls in much the same place, or just shifted down towards us.
It's definitely not the best spread here. It's shaping it up for a very interesting final frame when everything's this tight. Should be plenty of opportunities for all players to get into this frame.
Safety first. Didn't want a bar of it. Over to you, JT. I don't like the look of this. Quite rightly so, I might add.
It's frustrating. I mean, definitely always like to get to the table and look for a ball you can sort of pot and get your arm going and get into it, but it's a good decision there, recognising that there wasn't anything, sensible to get started on, and just put the ball back into their opponent's court and see what they do. Maybe they'll get a better opportunity next time.
You make them sweat all over it, don't you? You sit back and just twiddle your thumbs.
Let your partner do the work.
Yeah. Let your opponent do all the work for you.
Oh, it's going tit for tat.
Filth. I think that's stuck on the 7 too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that 15 will go to the corner. 7's probably just in the way. More of the same by the looks.
No touch and ball rule in this game too, so you have to make it move. If we were playing with the reds and yellows, you can play away from that, and it would count as a touch, but not on these Not in these rules. I don't think any of these guys actually play Super League. Don't believe any of them do anyway.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if we've seen any of these guys giving it a go. I think
Shaden or JT maybe?
yeah, perhaps. I think the John Berry tournament recently, we sort of had hoped that was be a good opportunity for a couple more to play.
Daryl's just snuck in behind us and typed that on the chat. That's brilliant. I love it. Oh, is he going to screw the white back into the bunch here? Oh, I thought he was going to pot it, but he didn't, and look at where he's left it. That's advanced filth.
Advanced filth. I like that one.
This is like, what the hell? What'd you leave me? I tell you what, this could go on for a few minutes, but Jesus, it's amusing to watch. Usually you hate watching this, but this is actually really good.
It's definitely adding to the suspense, being sort of the final and the final frame.
Julie's got a big smile on her
What are the chances of seeing a stalemate here, though? What point does
yeah.
look at this and think maybe we just re-rack if no one's prepared to try and promote any balls or make a move?
Well, you've got Peter Wilson refereeing this game, and he's going to be right on top of this. Going to say to the players, look, you'd better start making some strides soon.
Of course, there's no obligation for them to do so. If they don't fancy it, they can just tap and, worst case, start over.
Well, if it's a stalemate in this position, though, it's just black centre of the top rail and one ball of each set equidistant between the black and each corner pocket, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you'd end up clearing everything except for three colours and advancing the frame that way. There's a shot on here. Maybe he's just said, look, if you want a shot, then you've got one, but it's not going to be easy. Still didn't like it. Okay. You could just see them all laughing amongst themselves as they're all like, have a go, you whatever adjective you want to use, and Shaden in that case was like, nah, I don't, I just want to see one of you two F it all up.
Who's going to crack first?
Just runs. Oh no, you can't because you'll leave the 7 on. I don't think she's hit that hard enough. I think she wanted that in the pack, so the 7 wasn't on, but I believe the 7's now on.
I guess you've still got to ask yourself, are the smalls the set you want?
I don't think either of these sets are the set you want, but eventually something's got to happen. I think I'd be going for this, to be fair. If you can get this in and get the white ball away from that pack, then you can start making some strides. You might even be able to put something over a pocket down that end of the table to really put the heat on.
Absolutely.
It's like, almost like the pot a few and then run and hide somewhere, isn't it?
Indeed. And just a quick update from the other game we've got playing in the corner of our screen. We've actually got young Marissa in her first pool tournament ever. It's actually 2-0 up against Mania, who's probably the more experienced player and one of the stronger junior players. So she's on course for quite the upset here. So good luck to her there. Hopefully she can keep it going.
Yeah, Mania's... I've seen Mania play a little bit before, and he's Well, we did have a go at something, but it wasn't the 7. As I said, seen Mania play a few times before, and he's quite a handy player, so bit of a... I think... Did I just hear Marissa calling a foul on herself as well?
I'm not sure. So
I can
great to
hear
see
them.
good sportsmanship early.
Yeah, that's great. I think she touched something with her hand, her bridging hand. Either way, something that both Jamie and Corey would have been telling both the girls about is, if you know you fouled, call it. Always practice good sportsmanship. It doesn't matter who you're playing or what the game situation is.
Yeah, no, it's
Always
great to
maintain
see with the juniors,
professionalism.
isn't it? Great to see.
Cheaters don't win, rubber. Cheaters don't.
You did right, Corey. It's just saying to us, cheaters don't win, and while they may win a match, they will never win respect. And that ultimately is what you will be judged on as a player, isn't it? Is the respect that you have for your opponents in the game itself.
Exactly, and it's a pretty tight-knit community, the pool scene, isn't it? So, you know, I think word does tend to get around pretty quickly with those sorts of things if you are going to try your luck with some dodgy calls and stuff. So, I think definitely fair play, good karma, it's the way to go.
Because I used to have a reputation as being a bad sport when I was young, so I know how much of a cross that is to bear. Thankfully, I got better as I aged.
Not the only one, John. I was a terrible loser when I was playing as a junior player, and I can remember packing several tantrums. And then, yeah, you're right. There's a good effort there. Made the pot and a good split.
If he's still feeling ultra aggressive, he can smash the 2 in and try and smash the 5 and get the 2 out.
Yeah, we'll probably need to get through that one with a bit of top, maybe even a bit of top right. But there's a good chance here, and needs to play it.
Oh, he's going to lay it up.
Yeah, it's a smart option, very smart option. Especially when it's the final and it's to a wall, sewing up a pocket like that where the opponent's got several balls going into it. It could be a match-winning shot.
Yeah, you're just mentioning that you used to be a poor loser yourself. I know I used to be a horrible loser. Noisy, angry, swear, hit my cue on the table. Name it and I did it.
That's why we just had to stop losing, eh, John? Just keep winning and no problem.
that and learn to lose,
yeah.
Learn how to lose.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. It's a massive part of the game, and it can be a lucky game too. At Dave's pool, you know, you can play your best pool, but if you just get all the bad rubs and your opponent gets a bit of luck, you might play great and not win. So you've definitely got to get used to losing the odd game and going home a wee bit disappointed.
I think Jamie Eade watching her daughter play.
Watching her win 3-0, was it?
I think.
2-1. Oh, 2-1.
Yeah, I think Ag was the third one.
Nice.
Yeah, Marissa won that game 2-1, Jamie. You play all 3 frames in section play, so she was actually 2-0 up, and they had to play the 3rd frame anyway, but she still won 2-1. So chalk up 1 for your daughter there. One of them anyway.
So moving back to the final, I think the small balls are obviously probably in the prime position here. Still got 3 or 4 of those big ones tied up to the corner. Hopawati that. I think that might be a free ball as well. Looks like it could be. The only real problem left for the small ones at the moment is the 2 ball. So I think that's what I'd be looking to here, is trying to find a way that can use the free ball to try and open up that 2 ball and promote that, because as soon as that's out in the open, the finish is potentially on.
Well, yeah, I know how competitive you are, Jamie, so it's filtered through to your daughters, and look out. What would you call the 12 here and try to run into
the shot I was actually looking at, John, is I think I would nominate the 11 and look to play the 11 into the 2, bumping the 2 towards the bottom rail and kind of pushing the 11 onto that side rail. I feel like sort of from that position, if it was possibly able to get that 2 out, I think the smalls are primed from there. So
so it's almost like a fine sort of cut shot, isn't it? Do you want to hit?
And equally now looking at the bigs, I think it's, because the bigs are, tied up by that 5, I think it's really important that, if they can sort of perhaps get that 12 over that pocket and tie up the 1, they might sort of, level their chances of getting back into this frame.
Well, it adds at least one more shot onto the number of shots they have to play in order to finish the frame, doesn't it?
That's exactly it.
Buys you a shot.
And while we always, often like to play attack and pull and open things up, sometimes you've got to take your medicine and just be a bit patient and make sure you get that extra turn.
At the same time, I didn't mind what Shaden was doing there, though, because still would have been able to perhaps nick a few of those away, or even double the 13 perhaps, and then maybe the 14.
Exactly, and the bigs are up against it at the moment, so they definitely need something to come off to kind of get them back into this frame. So yeah, looking at the small balls, still all really revolves around that 2 ball. It'll be interesting to see how they approach getting that ball out. We don't have too much of a shot at it yet. Might have to take on the 1 and the 6 first and see if they can get into a position where they can get at it.
Got onto the 6 really nicely there. Good bit of run through on that cue ball to get it to spin around 3 rails and get on the 6.
Nice cueing indeed. At least of running through on this 6, kind of leaving the wide up towards the top of the table is going to leave an angle to at least try and play that 2 through the gap and get it out. Happy to just tie up that bag and
lay it up.
Play patient, sensible.
If that were me, I'd be a little annoyed it didn't go, because my next shot would have been just to double 2 out, but it's still a good place to leave it. It's there for Ron.
You're on 7.
It's a great double.
Yeah.
It's 1 ball out.
That's another good shot to have in your arsenal too. Just ask somebody like Johnny Jackson, who absolutely loves that shot. I got that before Francis. Thank you for tuning in. Get it out now. Or you get it out now, wouldn't you?
I think so. I mean, there's
just double it and just leave it somewhere near that middle pocket.
It's always tempting here, to use that, potentially use the 5 over the corner to try and get into them and split it out, and then it's still your visit. But I think with those bigs all tied up in the corner, I think the smarter option is probably to just, if you can get that 2 to the centre of the table and leave the white tied up in that bunch, they'll fancy their chances at cleaning up the frame on the next visit. It might even be a double to the top right corner on, actually.
Yeah, he was lining that up.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
what a shot. What a shot.
Yeah, it's lovely jubblies. Love the enthusiasm.
Here we are talking about various safe options to make sure of the frame, and bang, length of the table, double to the corner.
He's like, no, I've got this. Don't worry about safety, I'll just pot it.
It's a tough shot at the best of the times, let alone at 2-all in the final. That's awesome.
That's good pos too.
It's a good natural angle to run up and down.
Yeah, he's actually got the white ball running in the right direction for the 8 here, as opposed to being the other side of it where he's running away from position.
It's always nice to see the junior players sort of keeping it simple and using the natural angles. Definitely remember when I was a younger player, often looking to screw things all over the place, but a lot to be said for keeping it simple, and yeah, really, really good to see these guys knowing that already.
This will be for the final. Down it goes.
Top shot, well done.
What a finish that was too. Final, no final, junior, senior, it doesn't matter who you are. That was brilliant. Lydia Burnett, Pinelli, your victors here, 3 frames to 2 over Shaden McKenzie and JT Pinelli. How about that for a final, Mike? That was one of the more entertaining ones that I've seen.
Oh, that was great. It's always great to see it go down to the wire, and the feel for the guys who've come in runner-up. It's always a pretty gutting feeling when you get so close and come up short, but I think hopefully they'll look back a little bit later on once they've gotten over that and be really happy with their effort today, because there's no shame in getting to the final and only missing out by a frame.
You're going back to how a really good shot can actually change the match or win you a final. Well, that double right there was the shot, wasn't it? Because it could so easily have gone wrong and gotten on the rail or somewhere, but took the chance and perfect.
Exactly, and even that final black, I mean, geez, when you're potting the black to win a match, the straightest, easier shot can suddenly look twice as long and the pocket twice as small, so good composure to finish that.
Just going to go and shake some hands here and congratulate these players, because that was some exhibition of pool right there. In fact, if they're up for it, I might give them some interviews. I've just got Pinelli with me. Just talk us through that last frame, just the whole last frame.
It was a pretty scrappy frame at the start. No one really wanted to take the risk on, but we were lucky enough to have one shot on the smalls, and then it just opened up from there.
Yeah, and Mike and I were talking about perhaps playing a safety shot on the 2, and only then did it occur to us that you were going for the double, and to end up nailing it like that, how good would that have felt?
It felt good. I've been practicing it all morning down on the practice tables, and to actually pull it off in the game, it made my confidence grow a lot. It made me feel a lot better.
Yeah. And congratulations to both you and Lydia. And how are you doing in the singles? I haven't really seen much of the singles or results, so just fill me in.
We haven't started our singles yet. The other guys, we just finished the peers now, so starting the singles.
Oh yeah, well, good luck to you for the singles, and hope you play well. We might even see you in the final of that. Thank you. Both players just getting a photo. I'll just say a few words to Lydia before she runs off. Canterbury Junior Peers Champion. How does that feel?
Pretty good, to be honest. I'm really thankful that Pinelli was willing to play with me. So yeah, I'm just glad that we got there in the end.
As far as picking your peers partner goes, I mean, you would have had a few players no doubt lining up to play with you. You ended up going for Pinelli and it paid off for you. So what were you kind of looking for in a peers partner?
Just anyone that was willing to play with me, I'm more of a safety game player, so it's really good to have someone that's really good at potting like Pinelli is, and he's also really good at safety as well, so yeah, it's just someone that's an all-rounder, pretty much.
There's a good mature way of looking at it from somebody who doesn't have that many years under a belt. Is that something that your father's instilled in you? I believe he still coaches you.
Yeah, Dad's still my coach at the moment. Yeah, he just kind of taught me to always try and be an all-rounder and not just look at the game from one like potting perspective or just a safety perspective, because that gives you like an advantage over someone that only just looks at it in a single way. So yeah, always try and play your best, pretty much. Yeah.
Well spoken and well played, and hopefully I'll get to see you on the table for the finals and the singles. Anyway, go well in the singles. Hope you have a great tournament. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Can't interview Shaden because he's actually playing at the moment, so I'll just give a bit of time to JT now. JT, bad luck, commiserations, but what a match that was.
Yeah, it was tough matches. Played in good spirit, eh? Had a lot of fun. It's just good to see more young people out here playing today.
Yeah, and that last frame was summed up as a bit of a mess, which it kind of was, but it's great to see you biding your time. In fact, all of you biding your time and not just going for just getting frustrated and having a smash. So was that what you were thinking? Just keep tapping it around until somebody makes a mistake?
Yeah, we got a bit agitated just trying to get around the balls. All stuck together is just a headache, I guess. So yeah, we just pretty much waited for one big move, got open, and went for it. Yeah.
And I was saying on commentary before about how it's funny how the guy I'm playing with in the Champion of Champion pairs and the guy I used to play with in the Champion of Champion pairs are playing with each other. But did you have a great time playing with Shaden?
Yeah, for my last year being a junior, I've really enjoyed every year. But this year has been a bit of change because I was always paired with my cousin. Had a lot of fun with Shaden, learning off him. Yeah, just had a lot of fun.
So I'll leave you on that note, and congratulations, commiserations, whichever one you want to use, and may you go well in the singles. I see Corey putting in a wee bit of dirt there on chat. There you go. For your viewing pleasure there, Jamie, is your other daughter Michaela now playing against Shaden. We're not racing to anything in particular in this due to the fact that you play all three frames, so it's the same sort of format as the Alan Cowan Open, where no matter what the score is after the first two, you still play the third frame. That's gone all sorts of awry for Shaden. Combo to Michaela. And you look at how open all of these balls are on the overs, and I think that's something that she's going to learn fairly soon, is how to play a stop or a screw shot. What I'll actually do is I'll go back to the split screen. I see Lydia in action again, this time against Heidi Lees in the singles. Only shot that Shaden's really got here is the 7. Looking to play for the weight to drop it or sit it, and it sits right there. Oh, can you see the edge of the 7? Only needs to see a little bit of that ball. There he has, and he's kind of gone in between pockets for his position. Going for the double, and that's a good one. In fact, that's a great one. So Shaden leads McAuliffe 1 frame to 0. Just talking to somebody off stream there. That's why I muted the mic. Well, actually, I don't think I actually muted the mic. I believe somebody would have actually heard everything I said there. But I will be here a little bit longer. Basically, I was going to leave in about half an hour so I could go to the Woolston Club and do the raffles there, but somebody offered to cover those for me so I can stay here and do commentary. I did say thank you very much as well, because he's giving up some of his time to do something that I was assigned to do. Oh, I think Lydia missed that entirely. Yeah, immediately setting all the balls up, and so first frame there goes to Heidi. Not quite sure whether that was a miscue or whether the ball rolled off. She looked like she was playing it quite slowly, and maybe a little bit of inaccuracy with the cueing. Well, that's a lovely shot from Michaela, though. Beautiful little roll in there. And in front of the 11, look at that for a follow-up. It's got her dad in the crowd watching quite closely. Did you want to jump back in? Shaden looks like he's playing this with a bit of side to do exactly that. Not only did he get the 15 out, but he's left himself in great position on it. Drops that and nice and quietly. Got an option here whether to take this down the rail and follow it for the black in the middle pocket, or whether he wants to stun it in or screw it slightly and be on the black past the 3 in the corner. Well, he went for the run shot and he's missed the pot. It's a bit unfortunate, but does offer Michaela a chance to clear this and level us up. And that attempt is wide. So Shaden will be at the table again, looking to finish off what he started. And now he's just got the 8, and he will take a 2-0 lead if this falls. And that he does, so 2-0 to Shaden McKenzie here. Just quickly go over to the game between Lydia and Heidi. Lydia, I do believe, plays inter-club pool, in fact, for the Kashmir Steelers. I did notice that she had a Kashmir Steelers shirt on. There are a few people actually here who play for the Kashmir Steelers, possibly watching her play. Got Glenn Ziano, I think also his wife in there as well. His son Jamie is playing in the singles as well. And also you've got Steve Collier, who plays for one of the other Kashmir teams, and wife Sandy, who plays for the Kashmir Steelers. They're in watching these juniors play. Bit lucky to pot the 15 that way, but she'll take it any way she gets it. Oh yeah. Oh, awesome. Great to see her get that. Oh, down the rail, what a shot. But great to see her get that early experience and early exposure. I think she was looking for the 11 there, not the 10, but she's managed to bring the 10 into play. Just switch back to the split screen. Oh, in and off. It's got that contact wrong, and shade into the table on the overs will looking at the 13 to try and get down the other end of the table, or not even. Just pot the 5-2, give himself a better shot at the 13. Yes, he does. I don't think he ran far enough for the 14 though. So he'll look for the ball onto the 14 and doesn't get a pot, but right over the pocket for himself. So lovely little control shot there. John.
Live stream on YouTube, eh?
Oh yeah. It's good to get it in early when juniors are playing too, so that they get experience later on. You've got your singles now. He's played quite a few lovely little shots in this game. Who have you got next?
JT, my last game.
That's quite... Can't see which section you're in. Oh, there, I can see it now, yeah. Just back to the game here. Just speaking to Tyler Finch just off here, and Shaden drops the black in for a 3-0 victory. So we can now go exclusively to Lydia Burnett and Heidi Lees' match. Tyler made the semi-finals of the pairs. He and Julia Burnett defeated by Lydia and Pinelli in that particular match, but well done to Tyler. This will be to square us all up at 1. And down it goes, so Lydia redressing the balance. 1 frame apiece.
Don't get too caught up on the score. That's right. These people have been playing for years. Doing pretty good for your first tournament.
Where does it go? Do I have to go to the actual club to get a drink, do I?
Pretty much.
Oh, I've got coffee over there. Just going to make myself a coffee, folks, so I'll be back soon.
Wait, who was Mum talking about me?
No, she's just written your name.
Gets it from whom, Mama? Oh, did she see my name?
Well, that was when Marissa was playing.
Did she play on the table?
She played on the one you were playing. That's when she won them against me.
it's pretty tough in the short races though, eh? Like, maybe takes 1 or 2 little mistakes. Section looks pretty close actually.
Oh, Hers like gets it from her mum, he'll put like talking about the missed shots.
Let's start practicing, eh?
Are we going to do the opens?
Yeah, next weekend. We've got Canterbury Open. That one's still going. Bloody, I was going to say, yeah, bloody.
Thank you for that, Corey. I wouldn't imagine you ever would do that. You're not that kind of person. Lydia looking good for a 2-1 win here. Just 3 balls to play, and look at the white runaway on her. Just disgusted with it. You could possibly hear it in the background. She was absolutely disgusted with herself. See the white scurry away behind the 9. Just wonder if she might have a play off the rail here, or whether the 9 actually blocks the angle to play off the rail. I suppose we'll find out. No, the shot off the rail was on, and it's a great shot. Don't think the black cuts, but it does double. Maybe she is going for the cut. This looks quite thin. Oh, well played. Made an absolute liar out of me there. 2-1 to Lydia Burnett over Heidi Lees was a bit of a roundabout finish, but a great finish nonetheless. I think some words of encouragement there from Lydia to her younger and less experienced opponent there as well. That's great to see. Very tight knit, these juniors, and I mean, Lydia being more experienced in the position to give Heidi a few tips and just to say good luck for the rest of your matches. It's great to see. You heard her on the interview earlier how sounds like she's got an old head on young shoulders, and that'll bode well for her, not just in life but in pool too. It's a very well-rounded young individual there. Is it Ben? So here is our next game on the stream table. Pinelli, the other half of our victorious pairing, is up against Ben Broomhall. Mother Lisa will no doubt be watching somewhere if she can, and she plays pool as well. Great to see her son getting into the game. Just looking around to see if I can see Lisa anywhere. I think she was in the building somewhere. It's just as big a deal for the parents as it is for the kids, this one, because get to cheer their kids on playing pole just as much as they would any other sport. It is a little bit about them as well as being a lot about their kids, so definite family atmosphere in this place. And Ben just there remembering that he needs to shake the hand of his opponent. Forgot to do it before, but it's been done now. All is right with their world. Oh, 2 for 1. Got the ball he was aiming for and got a bonus with the 13. Won't need to worry about that ball for the rest of the frame. Chance at a plant here if he can hold the white ball about where the 9 is. That's not going to drop, just hangs over the pocket. I think that's what he was looking at too. You could tell there was a definite effort to keep the white ball there so he could perhaps have a shot at that plant. See how Ben adjusts to the long shot first up here. He managed to get just a piece of the 3 so he didn't foul. Not a nice shot to leave a young player, is it? Well, a lot of young players, they tend to struggle with the long shot just because it's something that they're not quite used to. Obviously, as they get more pole play in, then they start to get more proficient at the long shot, but Ben's only just started playing, so he hasn't really had the chance to get better at those shots, but that will come. Favourite to win this tournament, Corey? Geez, that's a really tough question. I'll give you 3 names that come immediately to mind. Or actually no, 4. JT Pinelli, Pinelli, Lydia Burnett and Shaden McKenzie. I had to pick 4 because just picking one would do disservice to everyone else, because as much as pole is a on-the-day sort of sport, it's even more so when you're watching the juniors play. Or double kiss on the 7. Had it not done that, it could well have gone in off the 7 instead. Ben's going to have to watch his cueing here. You can see his cue just fishtailing all over the place. He's have to make sure that he keeps that cue on the straight and narrow, which he's managed to do. Also looking at where his feet needed to go. Because of the fact that he was close to the table, he had to take a slightly altered stance. A bit of respect there early on from Pinelli as well, just to drop the 10 in front of the 7 and give himself a chance at that plant later on. And he'll get a chance at that now. These two balls look fairly close, so if he hits the 7 on the side as he did there, then he gave himself a chance still at the 15 in the same pocket, but it appears those two balls are further away than I thought. And that's a great shot there from Ben. Now maybe he can get that 7 in there. In fact, he's exploded those two balls away, and look where he's left them both. Right near the bottom rail, the 10 won't double, the 10 won't cut, and the 15's right there by the 2, so that's an excellent outcome for him. Nothing Pinelli could do but just lay the 10 up somewhat. Ben there promoting the 4, and might be a chance at a double here for Pinelli here inside the 4. There he had a go at it, and this, if it keeps going, and had a chance to go in the opposite pocket, but it ran out of gas. I was about to say well cued. He actually hit that quite well just off the cushion there. Not quite well enough to pot it, but cueing near the cushion when you've just started playing pool is not an easy thing to do. Ben actually did it quite well there. Hello, plant. No. But the 4 and the 7 are now available for him. Pinelli's only shot here just to run the 10 down the rail. He just gets underneath it slightly and leaves it over the pocket for himself for a reasonable second prize. One goes down. You're looking no doubt at the 2 here. He can just roll the 2 into the middle pocket. It won't fall. Stays up nastily. I'm just watching the names go down for the next streaming table. Looks like Waine Pinelli against Heidi Lees, so Heidi will get another shot at the on-cue streaming table. That is beautiful cueing from Pinelli though. Landed pretty much perfectly on the 8 here, and duly disposes of it. 1-0 Pinelli over Ben Broomhall. I see that your stream is buffering as well, which is a little bit unfortunate. Hopefully that will resolve itself in a short amount of time. But you see there on the back of Pinelli's shirt that he plays for the Papanui Hustlers Gold, and that particular team is odds on to be playing in the Premier grade next year, so Pinelli very well may have the opportunity to play Prems next season. Don't actually think any of these juniors play in the Premier grade, although I know that Pinelli does play first grade. Shaden plays second grade, as does JT Pinelli. And also I believe Tyler Finch plays second grade for the SAS Slinkies. He's a bit close to the 15 here. to recalibrate and play the 9 instead. Runs it past the 5 and into the corner pocket. That's lovely queuing again. It's been a real signature of his play, and from what I've seen, it's just the queuing has been very, very good. And down the rail, just to prove my point once again, as we see we have a second match on. That's the one you can see in your top right corner. In fact, I will switch to the split screen so you can see both games. Pinelli absolutely prangs that 14 or 10 into the corner pocket. It's just a little unfortunate that he didn't leave himself a pot on the 15. So we watch younger brother Waine on to play the unders on the other table. Waine and Pinelli brothers. It is Waine, isn't it? Just reconfirming that Waine and Pinelli were brothers. I sometimes do forget. That will not fall, and that's a free ball for Pinelli. On the other table, Heidi making her way around, and the 15 stays up, so Waine back to the table. Looking for the 3 into the middle pocket here. Yeah, no good. Look at the white ball though, that's a pretty nasty place to leave it if you're Heidi. It's right near that rail and everything you're playing is long. Gonna have to put that to the back of her mind there. Plays a reasonable shot on the 9 there to make it a little better for herself. Pinelli drilling that to give himself a shot on the black down the rail. This will get it to 2-0. And that's really unlucky for Waine. Slotting the ball down the rail as well as the pot in the middle, and that was just so close from Pinelli on the face cut on the black. Deciding on that shot rather than to roll it down the rail. Looks like he's taken an instant like to the doubles. He saw the one that he got in the final on the 2. Five has a free ball and he's held the white nicely for the 8 here. Down goes the 8, so 2-0 to Pinelli now against Ben Broomhall. Talking briefly about Steve and Sandy Collier, their son Cooper is actually playing in this tournament, I just noticed. Didn't manage to get her ball, so that will be a combo to Waine. It's unfortunate to leave herself snookered, so had to get out of that snooker herself, couldn't do it, so 5 down the rail is the first order of business. And that will not fall. So it's a free ball to Heidi here. Be looking for something that she can use to get onto that. 12, I believe it is. It's where it is. I don't think the 7 lets it pass, so she's going to have to do something else with it. Playing the 2 to the middle. No. Bit of an interesting shot, that. A lot of other players would have gone for the 5 or the 1 to try and come back for the 12, but Heidi trying to keep it simple there and go for the 2. Both draws and out for Pinelli. Again, that queuing though. Have heard that he plays a bit of snooker, and you can see it in the way that he cues.
We can hang around for a little bit, mate. Not going to hang around all day though. We've got to have tea at dinners.
Now the 5.
We'll see, we'll
as
undo all the chores first.
Ben lays the 9 up over the pocket. And that will work out pretty well, I believe. 2 and the 7 both on here, depending on which one he wants. Looks like the 2. And it's spat out on him. I think everybody would have thought that was going in, but it somehow found its way back out. Oh, that's not where you wanted to hit it. Other side, Heidi. Trying to just sneak it into that middle pocket past the ball, and it's quite easy to do. I've seen players far more experienced do that. And the Winey then looking to just finish this frame off. Got 2 balls to play. That just sprung off the cushion. He's actually ended up pretty adjacent to the corner pocket top left. Oh yes. Lovely little roll in there, and Waine leads Heidi 1 frame to 0. It's again that Pinelli queuing, isn't it? Ben trying to stick the 12 in front of the 5, couldn't do it, but something that perhaps for Pinelli to think about, especially if the 2 springs away from that pocket. Just the issue for him is now going to be the 1 and then the 7. He's going for the 2 now. He's hoping to perhaps burrow that 5 in and get a good block on the 12. He has done that. Managed to claim that pocket for his own. And 10 fails to fall. And Heidi now to break and game to the left, trailing 1 frame to 0. And that was a good little double kiss from Pinelli. He's still got the 7 on there. Still run the 7 in. And it won't quite have the legs. It's just Waine talking to the referee, asking if that was a fair break. Did 4 colours touch the cushion? I don't believe they did, so we will re-rack that.
Sometimes the white off the cushion, so it takes some massive, and then this one just like
Ben here will have a chance to get the 13 out of there and just about tripled it. Gain the enthusiasm, love to watch it. Plays the plant, and just that problem with the 2, isn't it? Although if you are going to play it, you play it now. Play it now because of where the black is. If you can double kiss it in, then you should still be on the 1, but you're never guaranteed to be on the black off the 2. This is going to be interesting to see if he actually plays to pot it or not. I'd imagine he'd play just to leave it stacked. Imagine if he does play to pot this 2, then the chance that he's going to leave himself snookered is quite high, so... Oh, off the cushion and grinds it away, and it's still in the way though. He's still left it well for himself. Ben there looking long at the 10, and that goes down. I don't think he's too worried about the possibility that he's going to snooker Pinelli here. And that was not a bad effort on the 13 either. But a snooker it is. 3-ball plant perhaps. Needs to make sure he gets the angle on all 3 balls here. But also he needs to get that control on the white ball. He doesn't want that white ball to run into those balls and through to perhaps snooker himself, so he needs to keep the white away from them, and he does that quite beautifully. Nice and adjacent to the black too, so this, well, it was a good place to leave himself, but he's missed it. And Ben there perhaps needed to take his time. He was quite quick to that shot. And you see the reaction there tells us all we need to know. Looking at the plant 11 onto the 8 here to finish the match. We've got a free ball. And they're just queuing it up. That's the angle we want. And down it goes, so the match is over. Pinelli victorious over Ben Broomhall, 3 frames to 0. So now we have this match to be watched, to be commentated on. 1 frame to 0, you can see as your score currently. Just about got lucky on the 11 into the middle pocket rather than the corner. And Heidi there long on the 7. This will be a good test of queuing. It wasn't too bad either. That was a good effort from there. Nine in the middle, and got a couple of options here, 10 or 13. Probably the 13 for me, so he can stay on the 12, and that's the way he goes. So he's got the 12 here and can just stun it for the 10. In fact, he plays through it and unfortunately bit off a little too much. Interesting to see her looking at the 7 first here and not the 3, but she's got the confidence to play them that way. Not a particularly nice place to leave the white ball, but Still at the table. And cued that quite well from there, and that just about went for her. Watching to see who's on next on the other table. Oh, spits out. Thought that might catch the second jaw and go down, but in fact it just spins out. 3 balls now for Heidi to get to 1-all. Good position here on the 4. May need to use the jigger. In fact, she's not even bothering the jigger. She'll play the 1 first. And no success. I'm only guessing that she hasn't had a lot of experience using the jigger. Maybe didn't even think about the jigger as a potential option for the 4. That was nearly a beautiful cut on the 11 into the middle. And Heidi now back at the table. The 1 looks like it will double. Whether she'll see that or not. Oh, she will, and she nearly got it. Oh, what a great effort that was. Yeah, you're not wrong, Corey. They're champions right now, but they're going to be absolutely scary in a few years' time, all of them. Especially if they continue to play and be coached and enjoy the game. And I'd love to see what they can do. There's a pocket open for the double here for Heidi. She's already had a go at 1 and wasn't far away. Not playing it this time, just playing to lay it up. So the next streaming match on the other table is Leighton O'Connell versus Ben Broomhall. Not too sure of Leighton's pedigree. We will find out. Wayne, who has had a little bit of experience with the jigger, now has the long 11 as his last ball before the 8. And they're just having a little re-cue. Not successful, at least not now. Again, I like the confidence, though. He was willing to give it a hit to get position. Cuts the 1 and then now has the 8. Just wonder where this should be thinking of. Again, you'd have to think double. In fact, this might triple. It does triple! I think she's just a touch embarrassed at what happened, but she'll be mightily happy at the same time. So 1 frame a piece, and you don't just love to see it though. You just love to see them jumping around for joy after that. I'll just cross to the split screen now because the other match has just started. Just had enough weight to drop for Ben. Looking for the corner and not finding it. Don't you just love it though? These players all look like they don't mind doubles either. You're just watching Leighton come up just short on 1 there. I think you do see players in the lower grades going for doubles quite a lot rather than cuts, so I'm not too surprised, to be honest, but pretty early on and players being exposed to that shot and playing it well. Did you say you were going to make me a shirt?
A shirt? The voice? Yeah.
Well, I heard you say that once before.
Yeah, we get one made up here. The voice.
You get one like the Coach Hayes.
I'm not a commentator.
Draw some attention to you and the fact that you do coach poll as well. People don't know. It just depends on how much attention you want to draw.
Yeah, I was just taking a wee bit slow initially, just kind of seeing how much I can get and how much I like doing. Too much myself.
Yeah.
Because when you're not really a blow your own horn sort of person, are you? So
I'd much rather
Corey's working on that one.
get some good feedback and word of mouth.
what, blowing his own horn
Yeah.
Yoga.
or removing ribs.
Something's already clicked.
And just back to the action after a brief interlude. There's a double again. No fear. I love the attitude, there's no fear. Most of these young players, in fact, probably don't even know what fear is, and maybe that's for the best. It's something they will probably discover when they play more pole. And that was just about another excellent double. In fact, he's even disappointed that he missed it, in fact. And Heidi leaking with two in. The four won't go. So Waino will have the long plant by the look of it. I don't think the 9 goes by itself. So 14 on to the 9 is the shot, and he's played that beautifully. Wonder if he's got any sort of angle at all where he can bang this 14 in and split the 11 away. Whether or not he can actually see the shot. In fact, he's deciding he's not going to. I'm just going to play that ball now. Geez, this might go in the corner pocket. It does. I don't think he quite wanted it that way, but he'll take it. Just a shame he couldn't leave the white ball in a better place. That's a filthy snooker. What do you read? 2 rails? I'm thinking top rail on your screen, left hand rail to hit the 14. We've seen you double, we've seen you cut, we've seen you play just about every other shot. Let's see how you are at getting out of snookers. It looks like he is going for 2 rails, at least from where the cue was. Oh no, he's going to play off the side rail on the right. Not too sure if he's got the clearance with the 8 here. If he can just miss the 8, he might have a chance though. Nah, straight into the 8. Perhaps just a little misread there from Waine, so Heidi has a combo. I think there's quite a few people who would have played the 6 there, but nevertheless. Oh, it stayed up. Would have thought every day of the week that would have jawed and gone down, but it doesn't. So Waine has a free ball here on the 14. He's going to take the 6 and not the 2 balls over the pocket. Drills that in beautifully too. He's kept himself down that end of the table for the 14. Just watch the other table to see what Ben can do on this. Just overcuts it. Don't think there's a free ball on the 13 here though, so it's actually not a bad result for him. That 8 ball doesn't drop, so Heidi now with a chance to finish this game off. And 4 balls in the black, how good are you? Does the first part. And I'm just wondering if she's actually looking to play the 1 now, and if she can get the 1 then it's all open. Oh, right behind the 8, but I do believe that will be a free ball. Don't think Waine can see the left hand side of the black as we see it and the right hand side as he sees it, so if he knows that's a free ball then he's going to call a 1 here. It's a wee bit unfortunate that it's happened that way, because otherwise that would have been a pretty good shot. And this for the win. It goes down, so 2 frames to 1. Waine Pinelli over Heidi Lees. Across now to exclusive coverage of Leighton O'Connell versus Ben Broomhall. Still first frame. It's been a little bit of jousting here for these last 2 balls, and now both on, and Leighton with the shot and couldn't quite make it go. Ben now afforded the same opportunity on his ball. That doesn't fall either, but right over the pocket if he gets another shot at it. Just the last name O'Connell is quite significant. I don't think he's actually related to Shirl O'Connell at all, but famous last name in Canterbury and perhaps even New Zealand pool. That black has not gone down, so now Ben with the chance to take this first frame. He's a little long in the cut on the 8. Again, you will learn to play these to get position, but for the now we see the development in their game. This is screaming out for a double here for Leighton. Hasn't been shy of them. Double it is, and just about drills it. 2 draws and out. So the long black here for Ben and to take this first frame. Taking his time and unfortunately couldn't make it go. It's quite a tough shot on the rail though. When it's long and on the rail, it's not an easy shot. I've seen a few of those missed, and I know other players would make those look easier, but got to remember, of course, that many of these players have just started playing, so they are quite tough shots. Just watching the next streamed game go up as Leighton finishes the frame off with the pot on the 8 to go 1-0 up. There we have Lydia Burnett versus Jordan Poe on the first of our 2 streaming tables. So those of you who have just joined, and I see 12 currently watching, you're watching the future of pole in Canterbury playing. This is the 2019 Canterbury Junior 8-Ball Champs from the Papanui Club. The pairs have finished. Lydia Burnett and Pinelli were victorious in the final over Shaden McKenzie and JT Pinelli. And that final is available on YouTube on the stream. So if you want to watch that at a later date, you can do so. I very much suggest that you do watch that because that was a wonderful match. 3 frames to 2 was the final score, and the final very much worthy of the occasion. Lydia here to break. And it doesn't appear she got a ball. So Jordan will be first to the table. Here's another double, and that one just wide as well. I suppose if you keep putting the balls on the rails, players will keep playing for doubles. Ben drops the 13, and we are now underway in this frame. And that 7 finds the long way in. And this is quite a tough little shot for Jordan here. She's in fact switched to playing it for the corner pocket. It's easier to gauge the angle when you play that corner pocket in the middle for that shot. It's a hint that she might have played a push shot there, but anyway. Oh, that's a bit unusual. Maybe just a wee stab there from Lydia. Definitely not the fluid cueing we're used to seeing from her. Just watching what's happening on the other table now with Leighton currently about to take a shot. That's a good shot on the 4 too. Managed to pick that through the gap into the middle pocket. And now lining up yet another double. That coming off 4 rails and not too far away from the middle pocket that he originally played it for. So now Ben putting the 15 right near that pocket for himself for later on. And that's worked out reasonably well for Jordan there. She's got a blocker in on the 12 and made both the 6 and the 5 on for herself. Lydia's now got those balls all the way over there to think about, as well as what to do to get onto them. 15 going to be the best bet for now to try and come off the back rail, and for the 10 she's just a little bit shy on that. I'm going to try and get into these now, in fact, or at least to promote the 12 for herself. And that's not bad. She's put it in front of the 5. She's got a good safety game. She was talking about it in her interview about how she sees herself as an all-round type player, and definitely saw a fair bit of her safety game in the pairs, and now saw a shot of it there. That's undercooked. Needed at least that ball to go over the pocket, but it's stopped short. And now I think that 13 goes. It'd be silly not to at least look at it, because that's one of your trouble balls. If you can get rid of that now, then it gives you an excellent chance at being able to finish this frame off. And takes it and couldn't pot it. Now to see what Jordan can do, and don't know if that plant, the 3 to the 6 is on, and the 5's the other ball that she'll be looking at here, maybe to see if she can get it off the side of the 6 perhaps, but 3's the go. Maybe she can see more than I can. Or just caught it too thin. Maybe the 3 off the 12 that she could perhaps see and play it that way. Eventually the 11 falls. It seemed to take a while to do so. I wasn't sure whether that would go or not, but it decided it liked the pocket better than staying on the table. Just a good control shot to stay on the 10 as opposed to running down onto the bottom rail and not being available for the 10. Puts that down, and now the angle on the 13 to play off the rail is now a very stark possibility. Needs to be sure that she doesn't get herself tied up with the 8 and the 5 here though. And I just wonder whether she might have been thinking about the white ball more than the pot on that shot. Leighton's got a wee bit of safety there with the 9 being where it is. He can just afford to get the one out into the open, and there you see being unable to do much with it. So 2 balls to get to a 2-0 lead, and it's not the best place to leave that, but the cut down the rail looks like it's on. Double taken away from him by the 10, so attempts the cut and couldn't quite make it work. Ben's got to be looking 9 here. Although the eyes light up when he sees that the 14 can perhaps sneak past the 8. Doesn't look like it will though. And that will be a free ball. Just looking to see if the 8 still pots though, with the 14 being right next to it. I think it does. Yeah, it did. So 2-0 to Leighton there. Still on our first frame in the other match. That's not a bad effort from Jordan, but she's left everything on here for Lydia. And Lydia's going to have to be careful that she doesn't go and off this. I'm thinking that she'll be putting a fair bit of bottom on this shot and get the white ball to come away from that rail. And that she does, and she manages to split the gap between the 5 and 12. Natural little angle here on the 9, if she just plays it quietly to stay on the 12. It's a good bit of table truss there to just bleed it in slowly. Imagine she'll be looking one rail here for the black into the middle, or even to go around it for the black in the corner pocket. That's a good positive, confident shot, because a lot of players would have played for the black in the middle pocket. Realises that she can go around it, put it in the corner, and this she does. 1-0, Lydia Burnett over Jordan Poe. Bit of a change in intensity, isn't it? Trying to sort of keep myself up, eh?
Section play a bit easier once you get into a couple of knockout games. Is there any people watching in the stream?
11. This is Michael Cacciola versus Son Singleton. I don't think they're streaming this. I don't think they've got a commentary. It's a bit of a shame, to be honest. Follow an alt. Pick me. Oh, that's a good shot with the jigger. Just a shame the 9 decided to not fall. Leighton there managing to keep his concentration with that shot because Ben was still trying to put the jigger away. I know a lot of players would have waited for the opponent to put the jigger away before they played the shot, but Leighton there not seeming to worry too much about it. This ball down the rail. Bethel. B2. B2. So Lisa Broomhall is in the building, by the way, and her partner Barry Cook watching on, as well as Ben playing his match against Leighton here. And Barry here, just seeing Barry giving Ben a little bit of encouragement. Probably just saying to him, look, just focus on your game, just enjoy yourself. All of those little things that you do when you're mentoring a player, that's not quite what he had in mind with that shot. Oh, the black ball, look out. Oh, it stayed up. Table on the left if you weren't sure. Thought for a moment that was going to be a combo with the black going down, but thankfully it just ran out of juice. Cut on 6 here. Ooh, got too much of it. And again running dangerously close to the 8 and potting it. A little lucky not to pot it the shot before, but this time doesn't have the same fortune. Lydia will have a combo ball on the overs. Ben Broomhall now trying to get into his stride here in this frame. Needs this for at least a share of the spoils. It will be the Lioness's share, but we'll get some points for at least getting a frame. And that's the beauty of the format where you still play 3 frames. If you are 2-0 down, you can still get something out of it. If you were playing a race to 2, the game would be over and you'd get 0 points. Otherwise, Leighton there just laying the 2 over the pocket to block the 10. That's a pretty good knowledge of the game situation there. And trying for the double and couldn't make it fall. So 2 balls and the black for Leighton here. Going for the 2 first, I can only think perhaps potential to get snookered on the 2 if he'd taken the 3 first. He's spat that out nicely for the 3 though. And I just wonder whether he might have taken a few more seconds to look at that. Looks like he just rushed it a touch. That is again something that you learn as you play, is just to have a better look at the shot. I'm sure he'll have somebody in his ear to tell him perhaps just to slow down. Lydia managed to make the shot there to not foul on the overs. That's well played. He's got the white ball out nicely for the 8 here, and this for 3-0, and down it goes. Leighton O'Connell, your victor, 3-0 over Ben Broomhall in that streamed match. We will flick over to the first streaming table. 1-0, Lydia Burnett leads Jordan Poe. Yeah, that's a good little starter, and she gets a good bump on the 6 too. Looking around the table to see what she's got apart from the 6 here. Looking to form a little roadmap for herself here. 7's going to be the issue. She can give herself a double on that 7 early, which looks a possibility here off the 4. It looked like she was trying to hold the white ball for the double. She didn't quite manage to pot the ball though. You could see the definite intent there to hold the white ball there, to leave herself that double on the 7. Sometimes though you don't quite get the cueing correct. How are you finding the tournament? Enjoying yourself? It was a good triple on the break that you made in that game over there before. This is for a 2-0 lead. And not to be. Didn't quite play the nap on the table. Jordan will have an opportunity here to clear this up. Double on the 7 now if she wants it, but she's going to play the 7 and at the 4 in fact first. And that's about as good as you could ask for as an angle on the 2 to get onto the 7 here. In fact, she's going to play the 7 now. Maybe she knows that she'll not leave a cut on the 8 if she misses it. So it doesn't go down, but good little forward thinking there. Don't think that black cuts into the middle pocket, so Lydia will have to play a different shot here, looking like perhaps the double on into either the other middle pocket or even the corner on top left. There's a lot of players who would have played the 2 first there and tried to get back onto the 7, but Jordan, noticing that the black wouldn't have gone in the middle had she missed the 7, so playing it that way. I think she's looking at the double into the corner pocket here. Maybe the white ball spooked her, the fact that she might have gone and off. Look where she's left the 8 though. Jordan's going to have a tough shot here if she drill this. Looking perhaps to screw that back, but got the stun instead. This is going to be worth watching, folks. See what she does with this. Looking at perhaps a double here on the 2 into the corner pocket, bottom right of your screen. Or just about cut it in instead. Jeez, I didn't know whether that was on. She nearly potted it. It's just a shame for her that she's left the black dead on here for Lydia. The second goes down off both jaws, and 2-0 lead for Lydia Burnett over Jordan Poe. We'll be back soon. I'll see if there's any food left. Can't win it. She can get another. She can get a frame though. Back now, Jordan on the unders here. Looks like a number of these balls are quite well covered, so could be a longish frame here.
You're just holding it, mate. You're eating. Don't worry, I'm throwing out the window. Fucking gone. Fuck around with me. Yeah, exactly.
Look at all the... Yeah, I can smell them. I want one as well, eh? Are they... Just savoury if you can find it. Yeah. Oh, that would have been a shot and a half if that had dropped. Either way, though, left it near the pocket. It's good for Lydia there. I've seen a number of players good at fine cuts. Would have been mighty proud of that shot. Not that time for Jordan. So we do have our next match on the live streaming table. That would be JT Pinelli up against Mania Olmua. I believe Mania's parents, Kirsten and Dave, are in the building. Be watching their son go at it, as are many of the Pinelli family, to watch JT play. In fact, I think there's 4 of them just in front of me now, or perhaps 3 of them just in front of me now will be in prime position to watch JT play this match, because the second camera table's right in front of them. Possibility of a plant here down the rail. Definitely gave it a good run. Made them both on though, that's the thing. You play those plants, you still want the 2 balls to be on after the shot, even if you don't pot it. 7 might pass the 3 here. No, she's got a big piece of the 3, so unfortunately not. Just go to split screen. Mania there wrecking the ball, so I can only assume it will be his break for the first frame. Be interesting to see what Lydia does here with the 15 if she plays it now. Gee, that's a massive break. Something go down, please. Please. Ah, ripped off. Gee, you'd feel like you'd been stolen from when you break like that and don't get a ball down. And JT makes with the first shot here. Yeah, I saw your face. I was wondering whether it was you or not.
It's me, yeah. Nice to meet you.
You're the same.
Yeah.
Watched a fair bit of this, have you?
I've been here since 8:30.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So
And I was here yesterday in the Masters.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Is there any of the, anybody related to you playing in this?
Georgie, my son, he plays inter-club, but he doesn't really play tournaments.
Oh, is he just over there now?
He's playing with Pinelli.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we conned him into playing this weekend.
You conned him?
Yeah. Laid down a few sweeteners, you know.
Well, you give him money if he
No.
plays?
No. No, no. No, he was quite agreeable. Janet just rang up and said, do you want to play? So, yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, yeah, it's good for him. I would like to see him play more tournaments, but he's quite committed with league at the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
It takes up a large amount of his time with trainings and league, and so the interclub's about all he can sort of commit to. Yeah.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
If he's got a first love.
Exactly, it's always going to be league. He'll always come second like me.
What team does he play for?
Mine, Foxes.
No, sorry, I mean league.
Oh, league. He's
I can tell he's got a Fox jersey on.
He's a Hornet, Hawkswell.
Oh, Hallswell.
Yeah, both my plays. I've got an older boy, 20, who plays for Hawkswell as well.